Hi there, everyone. Welcome to Practice Time with Ms. Rhona. My name is Rhona May Arca, or as my students call me, Ms. Rhona, and I'm a registered music teacher in Calgary, Alberta. And it's Friday. Welcome to my practice room. So this is a series where I'm just gonna switch cameras there, where I open up the practice room and you can hang out with me while I work through some of my students' pieces and technical requirements and some of the projects that I'm working on. So I thought I would try a different time, see how this goes. One thing with organizing practice times is you do want to stick to a routine. Every now and again you do want to change things around. So I'm just trying to find the ideal practice time for me on Fridays. I don't know about the rest of you, but by the time we get closer to 6, closer to 7, my brain starts to fizzle. So probably not the best time to be doing a live stream, unless I'm practicing something that doesn't require too much brain power, shall we say. So hopefully the earlier time will lead to more fruitful practices. And also later in the afternoon, I'm opening some of those spots for flex lessons, or when students reschedule lessons. Now, for those of you who have been catching some of the replays or popping in during some of the live streams, you know that I've been focusing on different aspects of musician survival skills. And this week has been posture and technique. So a lot of body mechanics stuff inspired by previous injuries and issues, as well as some challenges that my students are going through this year. So now Wednesday, I did start showing off some of the tricep tendonitis exercises that I was initially taught a long time ago in physio, but didn't quite do a really good job showing that off. So I thought I'd just rearrange here because I haven't done the exercises for today yet. And really, really should. So the first one is called the soup can exercise. So, and that is only because I was taught the exercise with a soup can. And basically you're working these are your flexors and then extensors, but I'll stretch those later. Because I haven't fully stretched, I'm just going to go through this nice and slow. This is the arm that is prone to injury. Ever since a summer job way back in university. So does anyone have any exciting plans for the weekend? I know with us being limited or with what we can do because of the pandemic, that kind of changes things, but I mean, it doesn't have to stop things completely, right? We can still get together online or safely distanced. I think this was 3. So you have to go down slowly. Now the idea with these exercises is to strengthen the muscles around the injured tendons and ligaments. So with tendonitis, the tendons have become inflamed. And with repetitive stress injuries, they never fully, completely heal, unless you completely stop the exercise that caused the motion that caused the injury in the first place. But the problem is, the action that usually causes the injury, it's an action that's done in other activities as well. Okay, I think this is 6. Okay, so one thing that I didn't do a very good job of on Wednesday was show off the other arm, so that's why I've positioned this. So the main thing is you do want to do this on a tabletop surface or a ledge just to support your arm. Keep this all still. Go down slowly. See, initially I wasn't too sure about these live streams and opening up the practices, but you guys are kind of forcing me to actually deal with some issues that I would normally slough off. So And the latest tendonitis flare-up has nothing to do with piano posture. It has everything to do with very bad desk posture. So if you've visited the studio blog, you'll see that I have a new little posture corrector gadget, the Posture Medic, which I've been testing out. It also has some stretches and some strengthening exercises to strengthen the core and, neck, shoulders, well, everything all around here, which would also benefit music as well. I've lost count. I'm not doing a very good job. I think that's at least 5 or 6, so that's good. Okay, and then the other big exercise, I'm just going to move this chair. There's actually 2, because I did discover a new one last night. Well, rediscover, shall we say. So this next one is the tricep kickback, which I initially learned when I actually did go to the gym. So when you have tendonitis, you want to stabilize, and then you want to keep that still. So, and really work that. So if you check out Wednesday's stream, so that was session 20, I do have a link there to some tendonitis, tricep tendonitis specifically, exercises, as well as links to the Alexander method and the Feldenkrais method. So also good for working on body posture ergonomics, not just for music, for life in general as well. I think this is 5 or 6. So yeah, you don't really want to rush those motions at all. And then the other thing is, on Wednesday I didn't do a good job of showing off the other arm as well, so it doesn't get injured nearly as much often, shall we say. 3, 4, 5. All right. Okay, so I'll just put this away. This is just a 1 kilogram weight. You can get, Walmart, Superstore, sports store. I need to put this where I'm not going to run over it and fall, because that would be horrible. Other exercises that are really good to do, or stretches, would be stretching the extensors. So, because we do use both muscles. Both sets, I should say, because there's more than one muscle in there. And then doesn't hurt to do the flexors again. So it's really strange this year, where normally around this time of year we would see the veterans out in the malls, in the stores, collecting, raising money for the Poppy Fund. So thankfully I've got an old poppy here, but I'm going to drop some links down below, because with the veterans not being as visible, the need for supporting them is still there. So I'll put the links to the Calgary Poppy Fund, as well as the Legion site. So after the live stream, I've got to make a point to make the studio's contribution to the Poppy Fund. Ooh, that is tight. Alrighty. Wrist circles are good too. I don't know about the rest of you, but working at a desk, whether you're writing or doing a lot of computer work, you do wind up kind of locking a bit, and then shoulders as well. All right, so like I said, the past week I've been kind of focusing on posture with respect to technique, so that'll kind of color the rest of the practice from here on in. And I think the next thing on the go was I was going to do a little bit of, ear training, sight reading, keyboard harmony. So my brother and I are playing again at church on the weekend. Or he's playing, I'm singing. So what I'm going to do is just take this opportunity to just kind of go through, because I've got lead sheets, and I'll pop the links down below. These are 2 songs by Sovereign Grace, and I'll share how you can get a hold of their recordings as well as their sheet music. My brother introduced me to this group over the summer, so hopefully we can work in a couple of their songs this weekend. But I'm going to be cantering or singing, so I just want to run through the chords and just really get them firmly into my ear. One thing that I have learned, having taken some singing lessons, is you don't want to sit there and plunk out every single note. You need to start developing your ear. So this goes back to, gosh, that ear training walkthrough from, was it last week that I did? Where it's really important to, see if you can play a note and then sing the interval above and really develop your ability to recognize intervals just by sound. But I've got 2 different versions for You Are Our Hope. So one in B major and one in A major. Or wait a sec, it starts on a minor chord, but it ends in a major, so I guess it's still major. I haven't quite decided which key. It really, I guess, depends on how well warmed up I am. But I will just start chording through. I'll put the overhead camera on. So, boop, boop, there we go. All right, so G minor 7 is that. But if the left hand, if you're doing keyboard style, then left hand will take that G sharp, so right hand can take the rest. And B major 7th slash F sharp, so second inversion. That'll be what we've got. Yeah, I'm actually singing the note right. Oh, I think I was a little flat. F sharp major next. And then, as with any contemporary song, it's generally a 4-chord pattern, so I'm back to G minor 7. Do, got it. Do, 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 do. And I'm gonna go up a 5th. Do, do, do. No, that's a 6. Do, so, there we go. B major 7 would be, there we go. Okay, got that? So yeah, I'm doing a combination of keyboard harmony, sight reading, and ear training all at the same time. Good. Okay, so that's B major, and then we've got the bridge, so the pattern changes a bit. It's an F sharp major chord. Yay, I got it. No, it's just a minor second. Back to G minor with an F sharp on top. E major. C sharp minor 9. Okay, that'll be with a D natural, I guess. Okay, I can do this then. Whoa, that just sounds hideous. Okay. That's a C sharp minor 9. Wow. major 9. That's, I guess I don't have to worry too much about that because I just need to be able to hear the B that I'm going to try to sing. Okay, hang on. Do, 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 do. Got it. Okay. And then I'm going to totally drop an octave because, yeah, I'm not warmed up for that. Do, do, do. The pages. Hang on, I mucked that up. Hang on. Okay, so let's go. Now, so these are the actual notes for the melody. But I am trying to do it an octave lower since I'm not really warmed up voice-wise. Okay. So, yeah, keyboard harmony and trying to pick out the notes is it's really pretty much the end game musically. I mean, 4-Star and Bennett and Cap and all the other ear training and sight reading books. They're just, tools really to get you to this point where you pick up a piece that you are working on either for fun or for a community event, for church, and try to get it as completely as you can. So I'll go through that a little bit more. I need to get the melody really firm in my ear before we add my brother's pianoing to the mix. All right, so next up. Oh, yes. So I've got a couple of students working through Taylor Swift's music. So, and this is one armed musician. So we've been, until she hears back on treatment for her injured hand, we've been just concentrating on her working hand, which has to do pretty much everything. So it's playing melody, it's playing harmony, it's doing the, representing the drums for, the pop pieces such as this. So for instance, I'm just going to put the overhead up here just to show, oh, you know what? I actually don't really need to have the name showing for overhead cam. I think you all know that that's an overhead camera, right? There we go. Okay, so this is the opening normally. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, hang on, I totally forgot to put the little banner so that those of you watching the replay know what piece this is. And I'll have the links below to where you can order the music. Okay, so my student is working on this part. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then it goes. Going to deal with the first phrase for now. So what my student has to do is, since it's the left hand that's out of commission, is the right hand's going to have to take that intro. So we've been playing around with that. And fingering, of course, is going to be completely different. Then I've advised her to leave that 16th note, the pickup into the fifth bar. Just leave it out to give herself enough time to move up. Now, she could just do the right hand as written. But, I mean, that's fine generally if you're like a baby beginner student, but, once you're intermediate and above, you should be trying to aim for more keyboard style. And since her left hand is out of commission, she's got to put the chords underneath the melody. And we've decided not to do it on every single beat because honestly, listen to this. It's a little too thick, so I've just advised her to just nail the downbeats with those. So that's what's written, but she's going to add that. Now, the other thing we could do, because a lot of times the chord changes happen on 1 and 3, we could put a chord on beat 3 too, so that would be. Or 4, it just depends on the shape there. She doesn't have to worry about it so much on page 2 because then she has double thirds. At least not until she gets into like the hey part. And then the I ain't trying to mess with your self-expression, that part, it's just single notes. So I suggested that she do a bit of keyboard style there because left hand would be doing this. But since left hand is not, left hand's supposed to rest, she's going to have to do something like this perhaps. Something like that. Main thing is you want to pick notes that are part of the chord. And the nice thing with these easy pop pieces is that you do have the chord symbols on top to help out. But for those of you who haven't really noticed, if you see like just a D, that means a D major chord. And then G major chord. If you see a little M beside it, then that means minor. So that hopefully will give my students something. Oh, haha, okay. I have a little note. It's a good thing I flipped the page. She actually wanted me to run through her new part today. So it's the hands. I'll just play it hands together first, and then come up with some suggestions on how to work it for one hand. So we got. Oh, hang on. Okay, so I think I changed the speed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2. Okay, 1, and I'll go slower because I'm sight reading and it's Friday. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. And I think that's all she wanted me to run through. Okay, so what to do one-handed? Well, there are some notes underneath, so. let's see what chord. Okay, so she's still doing a G at that point, yeah. I would just toss in notes that belong to the G chord then. So the B. Oh, I mean, if she can reach it, ideally it would be good to play the G because it is a G chord. Give that root, give it a bit of stability, so. And then F major. And then that D major, you could do that. And then that's still D, so we could go. And I think she'll be okay with the rest. But yeah, that second line. There. Could do that. Just to give her a few practice ideas with that. And anyone too who's needing to make an adjustment due to an injury. So if it's the other hand, then the left hand will have to take over and do a little bit of melody, and you'll have to decide which parts, rhythm or melody or harmony, and try to work that in. But if you're my student, we can work on that at your lessons. If you're not my student, talk to your teacher. But hopefully you'll get some ideas. It's, just because you've injured an arm, shoulder, foot, doesn't mean you cannot practice. There's means and ways. Okay, next up. Oh, it's like Sonata and Sonata. Okay, well, let us see. So I've got my grade 9 student working on her Sonata. Okay, so it's been a few weeks since I've actually looked at this. As a teacher, it is really challenging to, keep on top of all the students' pieces, but we have to. So if we don't have time to actually physically practice, we need to be listening and actively listening and studying the score, constantly looking for ways to help students out as they get closer and closer to a treble spot that we know is going to give them a tough time. Or if there's a technique there that we know is going to be a bit of a challenge or is brand new, and figure out ways that will work to get the message across or the technique across. And because everyone learns differently, we kind of have to think of, we do have to think of different ways to explain or demonstrate. Okay, so I don't know what my practice goal is going to be. My student has been focusing on her nocturne. So she's just swinging back to this. And I've done a read through. Oh, you know what? I think I might deal with there's a certain passage in this which is similar to the next sonata that I'm going to practice. So I think it would actually be a pretty good idea to combine the two because they're similar techniques. Okay, but this is a really long introduction, so I'm just trying to sort this out. So those of you who have been playing for quite a while, it's really important especially with these bigger works, to analyze the structure, because all pieces, like all poetry, there's a certain formula. So if you can figure that out and analyze that, that'll make it easier for you to stay on track of your pieces, to learn the pieces, to memorize them. I'm just trying to figure out, okay, so here's theme 1. And then theme 2. actually is not too bad on. I mean, theme 2 is actually quite long before we get to the recap, or not the recap, the development. That is the middle section, the middle angsty section. Okay. Okay, I think the last time I practiced this, I worked on the second theme. So I'm going to move ahead a little bit and just deal with, well, I'll focus on the second theme, but I'll go further and then deal with that transition leading into the development, because that has a similar technical challenge that my next student has to work on, so I might as well kill two birds with one stone. Excuse me, I just need to put this on. Actually, you know what? I've been sitting for a while and I'm starting to feel stretched or hunched, so I'm going to put on my handy dandy posture medic. So check out Wednesday's live stream. I show off that, but it's, I mean, in a nutshell, it is a posture stabilizer and exercise band for doing stretches and core strengthening. So unlike the one that's kind of set up or built as a tensor bandage, this one actually encourages your body or teaches your body to learn how to position properly. I'm just trying to rearrange this transmitter without hitting the mute button, because that would be bad. Okay, sweater. So we're supposed to get snow, hey? Again? I suppose we really shouldn't complain. It is November after all. We've been quite spoiled in that regard. Which, that's nice to have a bit of a break. We have to take our breaks where we can. Okay, so hang on, this transmitter's sitting in an awkward spot, so that makes sitting awkward. Okay, so I've decided I'm going to deal with the B theme and that transition into the development. So that is what I'm going to drill, because that is definitely what my students and I are going to be looking at next week. Okay, so starting on the pickup to bar 23, I guess. Yeah, that works. Okay, so I see circles there, so I'll have to make sure that my student is doing her rests. D minor chord would be nice. And then we've got this. Okay, so note to my student, whenever she does get to this, analyze these chords. So we've got here, left hand's got this, right hand's doing, so that's 2 bars of D minor, saying that we are moving from F major to D minor, which is the relative minor. And then we're doing this chord. Nothing like using a diminished 7th chord to establish that you are in a minor key. Yeah, I'm showing off that leading tone. So back to showing off the new tonic. And then once again. But that's actually different. That would be our diminished 7th for C minor. So, and that is, hey, a C minor scale. Fancy that. And look at what's next. C minor triad. So yeah, this is not rocket science. If you know your triads and if you know your theory, you can actually see what kind of patterns the composers were thinking of. They weren't picking random chords. That's an A flat major triad, 6. Oh, I'm holding on to that too long. I'll just have to make sure my student doesn't hold on to that too long. That could just be a me thing, though. Yeah, that's it. And then what do we have next? G major. Temporarily. Oh, it's just an accident. Run on the first one. That is stressing G, isn't it? But then you look at the next bar, and we're like suddenly in. Okay. C major. Okay, I'm just going to run through that again. I'm just thinking about my student as I'm running through this. I mean, if you are learning a piece like this, you should just be focusing on the piece. But as a teacher, part of our brain is concentrating on, okay, what was the last thing that happened at the last lesson that, we need to make sure is addressed, or, that's a trouble spot, or I'm sure it's going to be a trouble spot. So. So making sure she does the finger changes, that was the one thing that kind of popped into my head. And because the little accenty, the carroty accent doodads, it'll be a little staccatissimo in a way. So what I'm going to have to make sure, and I'll have the overhead camera focused while she plays this, is to make sure she's letting go, because that is her Achilles heel. Oh, that's a wrong note. We are saying we are firmly in C major. That's a G7, okay. I don't know. I find, I'm sure other teachers have noticed this too when they get transfer students. We have to really work on getting them to master those slurs, those two-note slurs. It's just so operatic. But then this is Mozart we're talking about. So yeah, as I said, what I'm thinking about is my student and the possible challenges she will have with this section, may have with this section. And if you are not my student and you're watching this, you can bet your bottom dollar there that your teacher is going to be watching to make sure you're doing your slurs and your lifts, because it's kind of what makes Mozart Mozart. And I mean, the composers were pretty specific about how they wanted that to sound. So another challenge is this cross rhythm. So 1 and 2 and 3 and against 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet. So yeah. So anyone who's not familiar with that could just start by doing this. get a firm feel for that chord. But it's... This has to be even independently, and this has to be articulated just so. So you need to get that to the point where you're not really thinking too hard. Oh my God. Oh my God. If Joe Senpai is watching or listening at some point in time. Yeah, this came up in martial arts class. I was thinking too hard about my technique. So I was being told to not think so hard. So hang on. So what am I thinking of? I'm just thinking about the slurs and kind of ignoring what's happening in my left hand. And you pretty much kind of have to ignore one of the hands. So I'm focusing on melody because melody was very, very important to Mozart. And a lot of his pieces are very operatic or very melodic. So. Make sure my student lifts there. Okay, so I'm just thinking about this harmonically and structurally. So we've had, the first few lines saying, hey, we are in F major, we are in F major, we are, hey, totally in F major. And then the next little bit is, no, we are in D minor. We are totally in D minor. Oh, but now we're like in G minor. And then G is the dominant of C minor. And then, hey, let's just go to the tonic major, C major. So see that he's moving to closely related keys. Harmony is important, very important. And then after saying C major, and then it's like, hey, we're in C major, which happens to be the dominant of F major. Again, closely related key. And we're going to hang out in C for a while. Okay, I want to run through that opening bit again, or not that opening bit, but the cross rhythm. Hang on, because I know I can do that better. So I'm not too sure why my brain and my fingers are stuttering in that spot. So let's see if I can analyze that. So mindful practicing. Maybe I'm not too sure what fingering I want there. I think if I have the thumb there, then that'll make that easier to follow what is there. Okay, I need to remove the posture medic doodad because it does get tight after a while, and you're not supposed to wear it for hours. I was bad. I wore it through most of the teaching day yesterday, so. But yeah, you're actually supposed to just wear it in 15 to 30 minute chunks. Oh, blood flow is a lovely thing. Stretch breaks are good. Actually, I'll stand. That'll make putting the sweater on quite easier, or much easier. All right, so I'm going to adjust the chair. So it's actually good to get up every now and again in the middle of a practice. I'm actually going to, I don't know, it's nice to have the overhead camera, I think, for people who are especially learning. As much as I'd like to put the side camera on as well, it's Just trying to think about what would be the most beneficial for anyone learning this piece. Okay, so I am going to deal with that treble spot that I had, so bar 47. Actually, I'm going to go back a bit leading into that because I have to get the fingering kind of settled in my head. You want to get the fingering settled fairly early because you don't want to be thinking about that when you're dealing with shaping. Oh, I did a funky little lift there, which I'm sure my student would do, or some of my students. Okay, I should not be doing it. There's where I lift. See, I'm not very even there at the end, and my fingering was bad, so I'm going to drill that. One more time for good measure. I'm going to go back a beat. Get that a bit more secure. Okay, that's getting more consistent. I'm going to go back one more bar, or one more beat, I should say. You can decide if you want that. Could probably detach that because this edition's very, very clear as to where it's supposed to be legato. Okay, I know theoretically that is harmonically a 5-to-1 cadence, but my fingers and my brain, I think it's because of the chromatic little bit in bar 54, so let's get that. So I'm just toggling back and forth. For fingering, because that's a good setup for what's coming up next. So I'm just going to do that whole section slowly. That needs to be a thumb. And that's got to be 2/3. So yeah, I think what my student and I are going to have to make sure is we're going to both commit to fingering. There. Part that I really like. It's very operatic. Like, what's happening? There's going to be a dramatic season. Hang on. Ooh, see, that changes. So that's going to need to be drilled, of course, anytime the pattern changes. Whoo, she and I'll have to deal with fingering there. Okay, so definitely, I mean, we all tend to have similar treble spots when the pattern changes. So that is what I'm going to drill. So I'm going to go to bar 61, 2, 3. Unless, you know, some of the problem spots are different depending on learning style. But in general, when it comes to coordination, it's when the pattern changes. there's a E flat. Okay, and then I think we're transitioning back. Okay, so I think I've ripped that apart. I did not quite get to the technique that I wanted to cover, actually. So sometimes your practice plan changes depending on, what is the treble spot for the day. But that's okay. My student is going to need to, so that was this piece. And I totally did not notice that disappeared when I switched to the overhead. Hang on, I just want to check. Okay, I might have killed that at some point in time. Okay, so that was this piece, sorry. Now we're moving on to this piece, where we will get to that technique that both of my students will need to really work on. So hang on, I'm just checking. I heard the phone kind of beep here, so just give me 1 sec. Okay, so this piece that my student is working on. So there's a couple of things that I do want to address with this. So there's the transition, so the codetta from the exposition leading to the development, because there's a bunch of chromatic chord changes. So I'm going to run through that. Also the second theme, this part. Just because I notice with online lessons that Zoom's okay. I mean, at least we have Zoom. Zoom has made it possible for many of us to do our online lessons, and I know there's other options. But I'm going to run through what my student and I did work on yesterday, just so that when she does review this, she's got a cleaner sounding version of what we're working on and what I'd like her to concentrate on. So I think I'll put the overhead camera on again. So here we go. All right, so I'm going to take it at, that's a darn good question, man. I think I'm going to do the pickup into bar 31 because there was something there I want her to work on that I don't think we got to. And it's something that I also need to work on, so killing two birds with one stone, I guess, figuratively speaking. Just kind of reviewing. So I'm just going to deal with that. That will need to have a certain ease, so it looks like you're slithering and sliding and gliding across the keys. So. And then that's swell to this point. Yeah, that needs work. Okay, hang on, something's wonky there. That's gotta be a finger switch there. So yeah, one thing that'll help is really knowing the chord structure. Okay, so she had just finished doing this. So it's going to be that kind of slithery. That could be shaped better. The fingers change there will be most helpful indeed. Oh, that is so not the right notes. A sharp is good. So yeah, it could be just in her version that those little sharper staccatos didn't show up. So oh my goodness, come on. Oh, hang on. B sharp would be great. And then legato octaves, really, with small hands. So yeah, this is one thing my student and I both have to really work on. This is what's listed for fingering. But I believe her stretch is not as strong as mine. And I mean, I can do that, but should I do that? No. So we are going to, because I can already feel discomfort here. So on the tendon level. So I'm going to do like 1, 5. I'll go 1, 4 and then switch. 1, 4, that's fine. I'll go 1, 5 and then switch. And then 1, 5. So it'll give the same effect of legato, but hang on, I can pedal that better too. Hang on. Yeah, I think that'll be. I learned this finger substitution technique at university when I had to learn Brahms. And anyone who's played Brahms knows that there's lots of big chords, big stretches, legato octaves. So that is going to be the small hand adjustment for that. But I need to get this back under my fingertips. So yeah, totally okay going 1, 5 there, not the 1, 3, and then switch. And then that repeats. So that was one thing I wanted to just run over myself and for my student, just to really lock that down without killing either of our hands. Okay, the other spot, oh yes, that transition. So the pick up into bar 51. So, I mean, to pedal, to not pedal, it's kind of staccatissimo in a way, and it's piano. Could do rhythmic pedaling. Oh, rhythmic pedaling. Let's see. Hang on. Let me call up pedal cam. This would be excellent to have the pedal camera. Here's the pedal camera. Oh, let me adjust that pedal camera. You're getting a really good view of the carpet. That's a bit better. Okay, let me go maybe just a tiny bit higher. There. All right. Yeah, that looks good. All right. So yeah, if you're working on these pieces as well, or you see something that you have a question about, do drop them down in the comments, and I'll get back to you. I am going to. Gosh, what am I? Oh yes, I was going to try doing a bit of the. So you could do it without pedal. Without that pause. And then we got. Could use a bit of pedal, but it just dabs, so more rhythmic pedaling. So. Wrong notes. Hang on. Transition to the development. Welcome to the land of diminished sevenths. So now we near the spot that I wanted to go over with my other student as well. So hopefully she's tuning into this later. So trying to get that even is always a challenge. There's going to be a tendency to whack the pinky or the thumb. So light, and I'm going a little bit of wrist rotation. As much as I can. It's kind of an awkward thing, so it's more like rocking back and forth. I gotta go through that slow. So my student and I were talking again about these legato octaves. What do you do? Well, we're going down. It's actually quite easy to slide. And then go 1 4, 1 5, 1 4, finger substitution. And then slide. Lift. You need to relax. So drag, 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 1 4, 1 5, 1 4, 1 5. Finger substitution. Drag. That was the other big thing I wanted to deal with. So I'm going to just go through that whole slowly, but I just wanted to break that down so my student can really see that. So. And actually I'm going to solo that overhead camera, just so that is really clear what's the small hand cheat there. Drag, 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 1 4, 1 5, 1 4, 1 5. Finger substitution. Relax. Change chord. Relax. Drag, drag, drag. 1 4, 1 5, 1 4, 1 5. Finger substitution. Relax. Drag, 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 drag. So it is fairly consistent of the dragging technique and the finger substitution. And making sure you take those times to relax. And that is going to be my advice to my student, as well as reminders to myself, because this was a challenge. I remember, okay, I'm going to go on to bar 71. also do little things like let go the bottom note a little early. That's just good old G7. See now, it's hard to keep that light. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get it even, for starters. I'm not going all the way down. Hang on, just checking notes. There. Okay, so I'm actually going to rest at this point because my right arm, the one that's still healing, is giving me little twinges saying, no, we're done. Don't want to do that motion anymore right now. So that's the other thing too. If you're getting over an injury, recently injured, you really have to listen to your body and let that dictate how you practice, how you adjust, how long you practice for. Okay, so moving on. I need to go over there later to grab a book. Okay, so next up I've got, my intermediate student who's working through Bohemian Rhapsody. Okay, so we were playing around with, Okay, I'm going to do page 10 in this book. I'll drop the link below for anyone who wants to order the music. So yeah, my student has to go through spots where she's playing the piano part, playing the vocal line, kind of incorporating the vocal line into the piano part. So we've been playing around with that, at least with page 10 leading into page 11 of this book. It's a fantastic book. I actually want to take some time and read through it all. Okay, so let's just run through the easy come, easy go. So this one, I was advising her to play the melody with the top notes because the piano part's just this. And then, hang on. That's that. No. If I look up at the chords, hey, I'll get the chords. Fancy that. Okay, so what I advised her to do, because everyone's going to be wanting to hear that melody, is actually work it into the piano part. And then got to jump and do that, or do it there. That's totally okay. You're soloing it, so. That's way easier to hit than that. And then it changes. Yeah. I mean, we know that Freddie sang that high, but that'll make it easier to come back to. It doesn't really matter in this case. Maybe do that. Actually, if you bring it down an octave, then the right hand could take the harmony there. The never, never, never. Okay, and then we got. And then, could go. Okay, so that's go. I get the right hand to play the melody line there. So that would be what I'd recommend to my student to do, to really, she's going to be hopping back and forth. So Erasable highlighters are your friend. Make sure they're erasable. All right, so last student piece for the day that I want to practice / demonstrate. I just have to move over, remove headphones, and come right back. All right. So my Over the Rainbow student has changed nights, so that changes the live streaming order. Okay, we are working through this. Okay, so there were a few things that we were really grilling, and with this being so chromatic, we really picked apart, at least in the opening, and the voicing as well. So we spent quite a bit of time just fixing that. So I'm just going to practice that too, because I want to make sure that I'm getting it as well. And it'll be when she checks this out, or when her parents check this out, they'll be able to get a better sense of what they need to listen for and work towards. So bar 3. So just making sure, and technically supposed to hold that until there, but physically cannot, so the pedal just has to help. So long as you're holding it on as long as possible there, and not over pedaling it, that's sufficient. So the other thing too, I did not check if she was holding that G, but it is possible. Just I believe her fingers are a little bit longer than mine, so I think she'll have an easier time of getting that. Okay, so I'm going to get that more consistent. Make sure that is still held. No. So fingering, that's the fingering. Oh, that makes it way easier to get that legato. And then some like weird finger substitution there to get that smooth. So thumb is okay when you're doing it like a slidey motion. So I'm just going to run through that again because I really want to get it, and I really want my student to hear what it's supposed to be like. So. Sure that those quarter notes are held. I have lots of circles here, which usually means there's stuff I have to check when a student plays something. Yeah, sometimes you gotta do like the slidey thing. Okay, and then there was this where I really had to watch for the. Oh yeah, I think we decided right. No. See, that's hard. Much easier for that hand to be holding on to the D. So that'll be. So that D is still held, student. Okay, the other thing I wanted to address today. Oh yes, this. So I introduced her to the countdown drill. So bar 20. It's great on these parts where you have lots of solid chord changes. I think that's an E natural. Very chromatic, eh? Gives you 3 chances to get the chord. And then, yeah, do that as needed once you know, you can say achievement unlocked, then you can go on to 2 times per chord. So yeah, I personally find it's the when you first drop to the 2 times per chord that's a bit rough, so that takes a few tries. No, that's a C flat. Okay, so I think, isolating, it is the last beat, the last half note that I'm... Okay, I'm going to piece that together with the rest of the bar. It's an unusual spot to muck up. So that bass line is just moving more or less, well, here in a chromatic passage. Okay, let's try it as written. And then back to the da 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 da, that part. Okay. I think those were the main parts I wanted to drill as well, just to get, and for my student to hear. Okay, so I'm going to close up today with my 30 days of practice piece. So as you can see, I have not been practicing it every day. I am trying to get to been trying to follow the 2-day rule, so I can take 2 days off, up to 2 days off in a row, but try not to take the 3rd day off in a row. Partly just to rest this, and partly just, I think, with the time change and the slight schedule change that, yeah. Plus, there's like all this other music, so student music and trying to pick music for church on Sunday. So that's, I knew going in that I wouldn't be able to do this absolutely daily. Okay, so where did I leave off with this? And what is my goal for today? Okay. I think on Wednesday I was working on flow, and I'm going to remove the headphones because it's been a while. It's been, what, a little bit over an hour. Okay. Okay. So put that down for now. Oh, that is so nice. It's because I'm not using a connected headset there. I wish I could use my connected headset, but it doesn't plug into my mixer board. So I cannot, unless I look at getting new headphones. But I've got, this is a separate piece and then the headphones is a separate piece, and if they're not positioned just right, they pull. Okay, so goals. I think I need to concentrate on the second half. I don't need to concentrate so much on the first half, just because, well, there's going to be a lot of repetition of this theme. So I think I'll start at, there's like 1, 2, maybe the 3rd group is 16. No, maybe not, because that theme comes back. I'll go to where it switches to G minor. Yeah, the inversion. So on the 2nd page, And I'll put the link below for anyone who wants to check out this piece. I'm going to put the overhead camera back on though. Okay, so this is the 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth group, I guess, or couplet. So we got. I just need to get more fluency on this. Oh, and it's lunchtime. See, I better hurry up. It's lunchtime. I'm overdue for lunch. And then we got. I've got to commit to fingering there, so hang on. I think if I make sure finger 4 is on the B flat, I just have to go find a pencil because I'm not too sure where my pencil disappeared to. Ah, there. It's under the piano syllabus because that's a kind of logical place for it. I don't know. Maybe. Possibly. Okay, so finger 4 needs to be on the B flat. So that means finger 5 can be on the C preceding it. So I don't know. I've heard. Do I want to do? I wonder. That's marked, and this could be possibly. I don't know. I'll have to listen to a few recordings and study my Couperin Art of Harpsichord Playing book. I could do. Now I did hear a recording where like there's ornaments all over the place. Like here. It could work. See, 4 and 2 are my strongest drill fingers because they are the most even. 4, 3. Oh. See, 4 or 3 I find really hard to trill with because I guess there's not much of a difference between. But 4 is a weak finger. So I'm compensating by kind of being lower on it to drop more weight onto it and make it harder for finger 3 to play because finger 3 is strong. Could do that. Yeah. I suppose. Okay. I'm just going to run through it without ornaments just to really try to get fingering. To decide on fingering there. Do I want to? I could. Oh, that is totally right. I think I'll put finger 2 there. Yeah, because it's not a natural until there. Okay, interesting. That should be finger 3. So I can go 3, 2, 1, 5. yeah, advice to anyone learning an instrument, get your fingering settled quickly. I'll have to listen to see if that is ornamented with the flat or not. Because it's not there. But those are flats. Okay. So if I go maybe 2, I could do this. That's correct. Could probably do. And then home free, really. So really, I don't need to practice that nearly as much as I need to practice this. So. I wonder, I could maybe. Could trill that. I suppose. Okay, so I think I need to make 4th and 3 work. So. Finger 3 maybe there. And then I could do that. This should be an echo, I'd say. I think finger 3 there. Okay, so, So I'm getting closer to figuring out fingering for that spot and feeling comfortable with it. I mean, the true test really when you're testing new fingering is over time. So I'll have to try again next practice. I have made some notes in the score, so I'll take a look. I think what I am going to do, since Les Sauvages and Rameau's music is in the public domain, is I'll check the Petrucci public domain library. I'll pop the link down below and check different editions just to see if there's, any pearls of wisdom I can glean from that. But I think that is it for today, really. There's, I have to finalize the pieces for church before my brother and I start rehearsing. We'll have to do our own practicing, and there's a few office things I need to take care of. Tune in next week. Check the channel next week. Well, if you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, you'll get the notice when the new Tech Tuesday video comes out. So it's the grade 2 Conservatory Canada, the classical syllabus, that technique. And then there's another demo coming out. I can't remember which piece. I scheduled all the pieces for the month already, so I can't remember which one it is. There's a minuet in G popping up, the grade 3 one. Oh, it might be River Flows this weekend. Yiruma. Maybe. Not too sure. But yes, make sure that you hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell to find out when new videos are up. There's new videos weekly. And you can also check the highlights videos to just see the recap of the theme of the practice. Just trying to think, that's it. Next week, I'll schedule those streams shortly after lunch. And Wednesday, with it being Remembrance Day, I won't be live streaming. I will do a pre-recorded session and probably just zooming in on one survival skill aspect. And then we can continue on with Remembrance Day observances. So I'll get that set up. So Monday and Friday I'll be at regular time. If you like the earlier time, let me know. Drop that down in the comments. If you have any questions, also put that in the comments. Any repertoire suggestions? If you got any neat repertoire ideas or found any of the practice tips helpful, do let me know. And that is it. So catch you next time. Happy practicing. Stay warm. It's supposed to snow later, so take care.